Competitive forces, it's the type of competition or the market that you're in. You have peer competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and pure monopoly. It goes from one extreme to the other. The one extreme being peer competition, where there are many sellers, but everyone is very, very similar. So usually it's the ag business, products like corn or rice or wheat, where ultimately what you're selling is almost exactly the same as the person next to you. And so they're very, very small factors that to distinguish between A to B. Monopolistic competition is very similar to peer competition, but now there are different products that you can put in place. So example, you have the choice between coffee or tea. The next one is oligopoly, where there are only a few sellers. Usually it's two to three. A good example is the cell phone industry or the smartphone industry, where you have Apple, and then you have Samsung, and then you have LG, and you have Google, and maybe Motorola, and a couple other ones that are down at the bottom, but they're very, very, very minor players. It's mostly dominated by the main two. And the final one is a peer monopoly, which is the exact opposite of peer competition. It's basically when there's only one seller. And a good example of this is Microsoft Office. Even though there are new products that are coming out and trying to push Microsoft Office somewhat out of the way, it's still very much dominated by Microsoft Excel, MS Word, and PowerPoint. Those three are very, very dominant across the entire globe. Regulations, just a few that we talk about here that have some meaning. Patent law, trademarks, Consumer Products Safely Act. These three are here to protect you, but the main one we're going to actually talk about is patent law. Patent law in a lot of the industry, specifically in technology, has become very outdated. The reason is that when patent law was developed many years ago, it took people or companies many, many years to improve and to make new products. But because of technology and the turnover rate is with months and no longer years or even decades, it kind of has stunted the growth, and it has a negative effect on how technology's been able to advance. And there are many people out there that complain and think that patent law should no longer protect technology because people are using it negatively instead of positively. Ethics are one of the most important things in business, especially in marketing, and how you treat your consumers and what you tell to them. And it's something you should very much follow along. Ethics should be the how you live your life. You should always ask yourself, is this ethical what I am doing? If the answer is no, or you aren't sure, you should definitely stop and move on to the next thing or make changes. One of the unique things about ethics you have to remember is just because you see something as unethical doesn't mean someone else does. And especially if you get into global business or multinational type companies, what's ethical in country A is often not in country B, and vice versa. And so you have to learn how to navigate among the different cultures to become successful, which goes into, is it fair? Think about, in many countries, bribing is still the only way to do business. But in America, bribing is extremely frowned upon and illegal. And even so much that if an American company goes to one of these countries where bribing is okay and you bribe to win some sort of negotiation, is ultimately illegal in America, and you can still have charges pressed against you. Understanding global marketplace and ethics together is very, very important, and how you can navigate it. Social responsibility. We won't spend a lot of time on this, but it's becoming much more important. And the reason it's becoming important is because ultimately it should be do good things. Good things will come to you, sort of like karma. Don't take advantage of situations. Don't take advantage of people. Don't take advantage of the environment. Do what you're supposed to do and what your heart tells you is the right thing. And ultimately, it should treat you and your company better. A good example to me of social responsibility companies is Method Soap. When it was first made, they didn't try to do anything gimmicky. They made good soap that was good for the environment and good for people. And because it was good soap, people bought it, and they just did it the right way. They didn't make bad soap and try to spin it as something that's good for the environment. Just do the right thing. Three concepts of social responsibility. Triple bottom line is people, planet, and profit. Green marketing is environmental products. Cause marketing, charitable contributions. So to me, instead of saying we're a green company or we're cause marketing, I think that's kind of gimmicky. Just build a very good product that does these things, that is very good for the triple bottom line, that's good green marketing and good cause marketing, and then market your product the way it is. And if you have a good product that does these things, people will care about it and they will respond positively towards your product, and you will become a successful marketer or a successful brand. Instead of trying to be gimmicky and do the other way and say, how can we be green or how can we be cause? Answers this question: will consumers switch brands for a cause? People have shown that they will if you have a honest, true, cause-worthy company. You think of Tom's Shoes, or like I said, Method Soap, or Love Your Melon. Those are very successful brands. They have done very well and they have a very strong following because they did it the right way. They didn't do it gimmicky. I mean, you can make arguments and you can poke holes in it and say, well, they did this or they did that, but ultimately the goal of it was a good cause. And I think consumers are smart enough and educated enough to understand that that's what they really meant to do.